In this DIY, we will show you how easy it is to make a unique corner shelf unit just like this. I'm going to take you through each step for you to replicate at home or your office. The skill level rating is definitely an easy for this DIY. The materials and tools I'm using are the following. One 19mm laminated pine panel of 305 wide by 2.4 meters long, cut as per my cutting list. Some 32mm pocket hole Kreg screws, two 6x55mm long nail-in anchors, some wood glue, fired earth wood sealer, I've chosen burnt brown, the K4 Kreg pocket hole jig, a click clamp, a cordless drill, an electric sander, a paintbrush and a pencil. The first step is to get builders to cut the board for you. That way they've done most of the hard work for you and you're just left with the fun part of assembly. I chose a shelf size of 240 by 240 and they cut 9 pieces for me from the board, plus 2 pieces of 240 by 100 from the offcut piece. This offcut piece is what I'm going to use for the top and bottom piece of the shelf. So that's 9 pieces of 240 square and 2 pieces of 240 by 100. The next step is to separate all the vertical and horizontal panels. The horizontal pieces will be the shelves, and in this DIY there are 5 of them. I'm putting in pocket holes using the Kreg jig in each of the vertical panels on the back surface where they meet into one of the shelves. Choose the rougher side of the timber face as this means less sanding for later on. Roughly mark out the position of the pocket holes and then drill them using the Kreg jig. Remember to set your Kreg drill bit and jig to match the timber thickness. I'm using a 19mm thick board. Drill all 4 of the vertical panels as well as the 2 smaller ones for the top and bottom. Now it's time to assemble. Start with the top small piece and 1 shelf panel. Apply wood glue between the mating surfaces, clamp into position and screw the panels together. Work your way through each panel, making sure to change the orientation as you go to create that zigzag pattern. Remember to keep the pocket holes on the back side each time. You can make use of a spare shelf to hold the panels square when clamping into position. Now that's complete and the unit has some shape, the next step is to give it a light sanding to remove any splinters, rough or sharp edges. I'm using an electric sander with a 120 grit sandpaper. Dust off the unit and now it's time to seal the shelf. It's up to you what color you choose. I used the water-based fired earth wood sealer with a built-in stain of burnt brown. There is a range for you to choose to suit your preference and style in your home. Make sure you apply at least 2 coats. When it comes to stain, you basically have 1 chance to get it right. So I always like to just test on the back piece of my woodwork and that way I'm sure that it's the exact color that I want. If it's not and I don't like it, I can actually change to something else and then just try out another piece to get the final color that I want. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to carry on staining up this wood. Once the wood sealer is dry, your DIY is done. And now it's time to mount it to the wall. When drilling into a masonry wall, make sure you use a masonry bit with the drill set to the hammer action. I've drilled a hole in the top and bottom panel and will use a 6mm nail-in anchor to secure it to the wall. Now that's it for this DIY. You can follow these exact steps or you can make some changes to suit your style and preferences. Remember, there are detailed clips of the tools I've used on the product pages on our builder's website. If you enjoyed this DIY, we'd love to hear and see your feedback. Like it, share it with your friends and family. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel where there are numerous clips and DIYs to keep you busy and to get it done.